It's Saturday morning. You know what that means. Welcome to the latest edition of the Comics Pals. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are live with us, say hello. We've been through the ringer already, trying to get this ship moving. Thank you guys so much for all the help and support. Lot of favorites in the chat right now. I see Snake of Talons is here, Kefis is here, Catherine is here, Harris is here. So many of the Discord faves, if you will.
Literally couldn't have gotten this off the ground without Catherine.
True.
Absolutely.
No Tyler, which is why we're dealing with all this strife. But the good news is that now that we have this figured out, there shouldn't be a problem. And I can stream. Now I know how to stream, so that means I can stream myself playing horror games and losing my mind.
Yeah, here we go.
Get it.
Catch me
Cannot
streaming
wait.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh,
And-
you play that? That's right?
No, I don't play that because I can't.
Because now.
I can't do it. Maybe that's the birthday stream.
Uh-huh.
Why would I do that on my own birthday? Why would I embarrass myself on my own birthday? I'm not doing that.
You're treating yourself. That's what it is.
Speaking of embarrassment and treating yourself, I think Kale has something to unveil here
Yeah.
before we get really started here. Go ahead.
So last month we played the cool bidding game that Tyler put together. I don't remember what he calls it. And Catherine and I bought the same shirt. The shirt with Robert Pattinson photoshopped with a Batman mask on.
Yep.
And guys, I cannot stress enough how excited I've been for this shirt. And I'm going to reveal it now.
Oh, my God. You really want to see this on video, by the way. This is...
Yes.
Oh, my
Let's
God.
go.
Oh, it's
Very
so
well
bad.
done. Well done.
How can you
So
clap for
bad.
that? Look at that.
It's so bad.
Give us a twirl. Give us a twirl.
Oh, God. There's nothing there. It's completely black on the back.
Blank.
Oh, my God. That's the worst shirt in existence.
It's so
Amazing.
bad. And you know what? It feels like absolute garbage.
Like not great cotton.
I got a shirt with my Nintendo Power subscription in 2002 from when Metroid Prime came out.
Oh.
That shirt feels better than this one.
Like, to this day.
To this day.
Oh, my God.
Amazing.
Oh, that's bad.
It's so, like, I can't believe how bad the Photoshop is.
No, that's
It's
good.
awful. Like,
That's
you can
good stuff.
see, you can see it's Photoshopped over the frame. That
And you know what's so funny about that? All of that is deliberate.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I can't believe how much money I spent on this shirt.
Neither can I.
I
but
spent
worth
double the shipping on, double the cost of the shirt on shipping this shirt.
What was the price?
I paid $40 total.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
The shirt was $16.
Understand this. For $40, what can you do for $40? For $40, you can go to the movies and you can watch Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which is really good.
It's really good.
Yeah. For $40, you could buy
Two graphic novels.
Two graphic novels, right? Absolutely. You could buy... What subscription services could you... Well, not for a year, but like...
You could do Comixology. You could do... I think you could do all three. Well, you wouldn't want to... A Comixology subscription would be this shirt.
Yeah.
You would do Marvel and DC.
That's so terrible. But you know what? You did it in solidarity.
Mm-hmm. That's what's
Hell yeah.
important.
And I think that's the first thing you've done for the show. So, thank you. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
For the show?
Well, that's a good point. You didn't even do it for the show. The backflip you'll do for the show. In which,
That's true.
to get to that backflip, we have to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So help us out with that goal by subscribing to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. If you have, and you enjoy the fact that you're subscribed, if you enjoy the show, make sure that you are forcing your friends and family to subscribe as well. If they like comics, if they like these movies and stuff like that, they'll probably enjoy it. So definitely share it with your friends. Like this video, share it with your friends. All that stuff's free to do. Helps us out a lot more than it costs you. If you want to be a part of, well, today it was actually just a community getting this show together in the first place. The tech team. If you want to be a part of the Comics Pals tech team, join us live on Saturdays every morning at 10:15. Start your Saturdays with the Comics Pals, so you can be a part of all this wackiness that goes on. Wednesdays for Pals Pulls at 6 p.m. Eastern. Eastern, by the way, we had someone show up on Wednesday who was in Central Time for Pals Pulls, and by 6 p.m. Central, Pals Pulls is already basically over. That show, we get in, we get out. This one we like to spend some time yapping. But yeah, so make sure you guys come hang out with us for all that good stuff. Also, our book club. We just put out the Black Mirror book club. Batman Black Mirror, Scott Snyder, Jock, Francesco Francavilla. That's a lot of fun. Go check that out. Go give that some love. We had a great time putting that one together, and I think you guys will enjoy it as well. We got a good show for you today. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking about another unfortunate cancellation over at Marvel. I have a take on that that's probably not the standard, but we're going to talk about that. Couple of new Superman books coming from DC that look really good. The emergency meeting that needed to be held over Ezra Miller, the crimes of Ezra Miller. We're getting into that. Promised it on Pals Pulls. We're getting into that today because this individual's a menace.
You want to talk about bad shit?
You want to talk about the Reverse Flash? Ezra Miller is in Flashpoint, or the Flash film. Ezra Miller is playing the Flash and the Reverse Flash, just like in real life. And that's going to tie into our main topic. Warner Media and Discovery have merged. Warner Media, of course, has owned DC Comics for the last, 30, 40 years, something like that. What does this mean for DC? DC Comics, DC Films, what does it mean? We're getting into all of that today.
The printing and the image on this shirt, it feels so bad.
Does it hurt? Does it make you uncomfortable?
Yeah. Like it's the kind that when I know when I'm gonna put it in the wash, it's gonna crack and it's gonna be just terrible.
Kale, you did your reveal, you did your twirl, and it is absolutely just pouring now. That was a rain dance essentially.
You're welcome.
It was all sunny. Went outside to go get some breakfast. Beautiful day.
Unreal. Snake of Talon says, so excited to listen to the Black Mirror book club. Thank you. I think you'll enjoy it. Black Mirror, honestly, if you haven't read it, it's not long. It's not too expensive to pick up. I highly recommend it. It's a little over 10 years old now, so if you have the DC Infinite app, it's probably on there. I don't know. Marco, is it on there? Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Cool. So, it's not gonna cost you an arm and a leg to pick this one up. I think you should. Obviously I want you guys to pick it up and listen, but also just for yourself, I think it's really good. So, and yeah, by the way, if you've got Twitch Prime, if you have Amazon Prime, that means you have Twitch Prime. You can easily throw that subscription our way on Twitch. We'd appreciate it a lot. It puts some money in our pocket, costs you nothing.
You can hire a tech team.
Yeah, we'd be able to hire a tech team.
You'd be able to hire Catherine to do our tech problems.
I don't think that's what we want. I think this was a once in a million situation. Let's get into the listener comments. So, do either of you want to read them, or should I do that?
Yeah, I got it.
Cool.
So the first one is from Aaron Ruiz.
Yes.
I don't have an episode for
This is from the last episode.
It is from the last episode. Okay. Aaron says, the only thing I can give Sony is great casting and design of characters. yes, they're no cornerstones of the Marvel universe, but it's always nice to see comic book characters being depicted right. The shame of it is that all of those things are getting wasted due to Spider-Man missing in the movies.
Yeah, I mean that's an interesting premise. So on face, I don't even know if I agree that the design of the characters has been great. Casting,
I like the casting. I think that's pretty iconic for certain characters.
I mean, yeah, Jared Leto is definitely a vampire, so I think that does track.
It fits.
He does suck the life out of people.
Like if you look past the original trilogy for the Spider-Man films, I don't know if I would say that their casting has been like amazing.
I would stretch that even to Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
I think Andrew Garfield was great. I think
Yeah.
there was a debate on our Discord actually, which you should join by the way. There was
I'm part of it.
That's true. And you're quite active. There was a debate on our Discord about Andrew Garfield arguably being the best live-action Spider-Man that we've had. And I don't know if I agree with that necessarily, but I will say that he's very good, in my opinion. So I'll give you that. But, like, all the other people in that trilogy, like Jamie Foxx as Electro, like, was that, you know... Are we advocating for that? I don't know. Like there weren't any revelations as far as the performances go, and that could be due to script. I don't know, but
yeah, they are still pretty middle of the road movies.
Yeah,
You know, at best.
Right. So, whereas I think if you like, when you think of, and to be fair, no one else has played this character yet. But when you think of Doc Ock, you think of Alfred Molina. You know,
Yeah.
No.
Incredible performance, incredible casting. You know, great movie. Norman Osborn. You know, you think of Willem Dafoe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyone could have done what Jamie Foxx was tasked with doing as Electro. To me,
He was replaceable. He didn't bring the energy that would have differentiated him from, like, you could have swapped him out and you probably would have gotten a better performance out of somebody.
and by the way, I think you know some amount of that is certainly due to the script. But yeah, I totally agree. Even Emma Stone, who I really like, I thought she was cool. You know, she did her thing, but it wasn't like that's Gwen Stacy. Like, yes, when I think of Gwen Stacy, I think of Emma Stone.
But
go ahead.
is there like what is Gwen Stacy's personality outside of superhero ingenue?
That's
Like,
a good point.
What makes Gwen Stacy?
And I think that if the script did more to make, because to me, when I think of Gwen Stacy, I think of her being like kind of fiery, really whip smart. I don't feel like the movie really delivered on that stuff too much.
Ooh, I feel the exact opposite.
You feel like it delivered on that exactly?
Yeah, with Gwen in particular, I think Emma Stone did a really good job with that. Whereas to me, what you described felt more like Mary Jane.
Is Mary Jane supposed to be whip smart?
What does that mean?
To me, it means like just really smart and in a pinch, you
Just
know.
quick.
Yeah, like which to be fair, Gwen does display some of that in Amazing Spider-Man 2. That's fair.
I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what the chat says about it. Catherine, Sean just don't want to pay a woman. Better be kidding. Of course, I would pay a woman.
He'd pay several.
What? Gifted a sub to the medic. Thank you for doing that. Appreciate that.
On a roll.
Yeah, right. Jeez, MVP of the stream. I wish we had some kind of award to give away for that. We gotta come up with something. Zimbu the monkey says, "I like the sense of scale and the city shots in the Garfield films."
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that. The other part of what Aaron said was it's always nice to see comic book characters depicted right. The shame of it all is that they're getting wasted due to no Spider-Man in the movies. Yeah. I mean, look, I don't think that Venom 2 was good. I think Venom 1 was lucky. And if Spider-Man was in those movies, not in like the Venom movie, but if Spider-Man was in the Some See and you could do a movie with Spider-Man that features Tom Holland playing Venom, I might be more into that.
But see, he would have put a damper on Morbius then, right? Because that's not right. They have their own energy going. Like that's different.
Because Tom Holland is a boring performer, right?
Damper. A damper on Morbius because Morbius was so lively, right?
Right. Well, a lot of action sequences.
You've seen the clip of Matt Smith doing the big vampire dance as he's getting dressed, haven't you? I
have not.
Seems like a good time.
I have not. The only thing I've seen from that movie is the after credits. Aaron Ruiz, though, thank you for writing in. New name, as far as I know, to commenting, so appreciate that. But then he had a follow-up. He had a follow-up.
Yeah. So he says, what do you guys think of X-Men Evolution? Grumpy Dad Wolverine, Rogue's design, Cyclops, Kitty, and the laid-back episodes are probably my favorite parts of the show. Also, I think this can be a blueprint for the MCU X-Men, most of them being teenagers, a couple being the adults, and Xavier trying to erase people's mind whenever the powers get out of control till the inevitable happens.
I loved Spike. Like, hands down, Evolution was... I didn't watch the OG series for the X-Men, but Evolution tuned in every day on CW. Was it CW Kids or something? Every day after school, I was in there in front of my TV. I love that show.
Sure wasn't Kids WB?
Oh, it might have been at that point.
Yeah.
Last
time ago.
I love that. That was awesome.
That Cyclops is my favorite Cyclops in design and character. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not that he had much of a character. I mean, he's still a Cyclops, but like...
X-Men Evolution was cool. I didn't watch it a lot as a kid. Because I couldn't get with the new character designs and them being teenagers and stuff like that. I think the Rogue design is one that people often shout out as something that they really liked from that series. For me, it's the exact opposite.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't into it.
I took all of that stuff.
I think Kitty wore flip-flops 90% of the show.
Oh, those weird sandals, right?
Yeah, those like elevated flip-flops. I couldn't get into it. I couldn't get into it.
I think for me, what it was an introduction to those characters because I think it surprised me that you said that you didn't like the designs because they were so different. But for me, that was the appeal, was that it wasn't the 92 X-Men. It wasn't the stuff that I'd seen previously that I didn't enjoy because I didn't have that familiarity. This was a nice base for me to be able to jump in, explore the world, and just have fun with it, right? Because I did think that the show was really entertaining, and so being able to get introduced to everybody and some parts of them being adults, like Storm, like Wolverine, I think that was really effective because it also gave the characters like nice people to bounce off of who were a bit more maternal and paternal. Mm-hmm. And I think that was also the draw for the show. So you have these teens, how do you manage them?
So the other aspect was that this would be a great blueprint for the MCU X-Men. I don't see that happening. I don't think that they're going to introduce the MCU's X-Men as a bunch of teens. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not like a terrible idea or anything. I just don't think they'll do it. I think that the idea of the X-Men as teenagers who are saving the world, like the original X-Men pitch, I don't foresee them doing that. I think more likely we would see an X-Men team that's, established as the X-Men and then the kids underneath that.
Similar to what we've gotten already.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Because that is interesting.
Yeah.
I think, like, you can do more with that.
Mm-hmm.
if the X-Men are adults, it's not weird when an adult punches another adult because he's being racist.
No,
Right,
that's not
like-
weird. Yeah, so like you would be able to get an X-Men, but then you could also get like new X-Men or
Yeah.
stuff like that where you can use the younger characters. It just opens it up a little more, I think. If the MCU were starting from scratch, maybe that would make more sense to me, but who knows? I think literally anything's possible with the mutants going forward, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Again, thanks for the comment though. Really appreciate it.
Matt Murphy on the Discord this week asked, "What comic runs have you double dipped on and bought multiple times? What was your reasoning?" So I assume that'll be in either different formats or different issues from
Yeah, let me show you guys. This is, let's see, right up there, my little, so those top two, all Swamp Thing. And so I got the trades over here, right? Got those, and then double dipped on all of the individual issues for those trades. And then I also have them in a digital format, because believe it or not, Swamp Thing's my favorite character.
I almost bought. So I work at a toy store. I almost bought you a figure of the He-Man character Moss Man today. I looked at it.
That's
I looked
funny.
at it and went, "I gotta get Marco that. That would be a hilarious joke."
That'd be great.
Did
Now
you
I'm
then
expecting it.
did you then think about the shipping cost and say forget it?
Yeah, I'm not buying that. Fuck that. Because it's
I'll
on
come pick it up.
clearance too.
I'll come pick it
So-
up.
I mean,
I don't
if
want you
you're
at my house.
All right. I'll see how it is.
damn unwelcome. I double dip a lot. If it's a run that I really enjoyed, chances are I have it in at least one other format. Very rarely do I just stick to the floppies. So, for example, like I have Civil War in floppy. I have a hardcover. I have a soft cover. Low, I have the the floppies, and then I have the really nice collected editions. Same for Black Science. Rick Remender's, sorry, not Rick Remender. Jonathan Hickman's X-Men. I've told the tales of how I've double dipped on that. Went ahead and bought 10 of Swords.
Yeah.
And have I cracked that open since? No. So yeah, I double dipped nonstop. I've triple dipped in certain instances with Hickman's Avengers. Actually, I've triple dipped. I bought the singles, the trades, and then hardcovers. So yeah,
Damn.
if I like
Damn,
it,
dude.
yeah.
What's the appeal of the different formats? If you have, like, I won't get a hardcover if I have a trade. What's the appeal there?
Stupidity. No, I in comics, in books, whatever, I like a hardcover. That's what I enjoy. So a lot of times I'll go to a Comic-Con and I'll see like, oh, they have like the first 3 trades of Hickman's Avengers at the time. I don't have this collected. Let me buy this.
Sure.
So I'll buy them at half price. Then later on, I'll see the omnibus and I'll be like, oh, need that, and buy it.
Take it.
Yeah, for me to double dip, typically I have to either absolutely love the series or it has to have something special in it. So we've talked a few times about Sandman Mystery Theater. Really, really love that series. I have a couple of paperbacks, but I got the full digital re-release of the recent reprint,
Nice.
which is a huge volume, and I've been going through it again.
Did they do recolors on that, or
I don't think so.
no? Okay.
But I also got the first issue of Strange Adventures. I got the director's cut of that. And actually really, really learned a lot because it does the side by side of the script with the art. It's really good. It's really good. So heads up, y'all, with that and my experience with Rorschach. I might be into Tom King again.
Wait. I don't think we talked about your feelings on Rorschach.
We definitely have it on the show. I was actually thinking of asking you if you guys wanted to do a like a second Watchmen retrospective because I have thoughts.
I
really enjoyed it.
Nice.
That's
enough
a book
that I think I'll probably read it again.
Wow.
Which never happens.
I try not to feel like I know what people will like. You know, I don't like to put myself in other people's brains in that way. But this was one where I was like, I really think that Kale will like this.
Yeah.
Kick out of it.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. And even as I finished it, I was like, and I got to the last issue, I was like, okay, I know what's coming. But I got through it, and it was like, I'm still into this. Mm-hmm. This really worked for me. And so I really want to figure out like why.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, totally.
But I really enjoyed myself.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt, for the question. You guys can always submit questions via our Discord. We do have a questions channel for that express purpose. There's lots of other fun stuff going on our Discord, too. Lots of really cool people, always respectful. If you're looking for a community to be a part of where you won't be shamed for your comics takes unless you like Radiant Black. Just kidding.
Spawn.
Just kidding. No, Spawn.
That's not fair. We'll shame you a little, but it's all in fun.
Spawn fans get love on our Discord because I stand Spawn fans. How about that?
Ooh, let us know in the chat what you guys have double dipped on. Definitely interested to hear what people think.
We got some double dippers in there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
By the way,
see you.
Twitch, if you guys have seen Sonic 2, let us know what you think about it. Because I saw it.
I saw it.
Oh, you saw it? Yeah. You loved it?
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah. I actually think I liked the first one better. But I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Dude, that movie was fire, man. I had a blast. I was like, gosh, I wish I had kids to take to a movie like this.
Yo, if you can see it in a theater with kids, it will take the shitty adult out of you.
The shitty adult leaves my body whenever I engage in anything that's, like that. So, like, I was laughing more than the kids. And that's, I was like, wait, what's happening here? But yeah, I thought it was really funny. It's amazing that Sonic has one of the, they're 2 for 2. Sonic the Hedgehog, 2 for 2.
Absolutely. And I was telling Jess as we were leaving, I was like, I cannot believe that we have 2 Sonic the Hedgehog movies, but Detective Pikachu is just gone.
Yeah,
They've just decided not to do it.
Yeah,
that's
weird.
Insane to me.
All right, let's get into the news here. Now, again, this is my first time hosting the stream, so hopefully the image portion will work. I hope nothing breaks. We will see. Here we go. Does this work? No, it's not working. So I can't pull up the images. Oh no, I can. Can you see?
Let's do it.
Can you see that?
Yet? It's not up yet.
I think so. I think it should work. Yes. Boom. Cool. Awesome. So yes,
let's go.
Yes, we are talking Black Widow. Marvel canceled Black Widow this week. With
I can't believe they cancel an Asian like that.
An Asian?
Scarlett Johansson's Asian.
Oh right, yes.
I see.
Course, yes.
Is that reference too dated?
They canceled Black Widow with issue 15. This was from what I've seen, a very celebrated run by Kelly Thompson.
Yeah, even the Discord.
Right, yeah. And I haven't read a single issue of this. And I feel guilty now but we'll get to that in a second. So Kelly Thompson, Elena Casagrande did the art, colors from Jordi Belair, and letters from Corey Pettit.
Wow.
Sarah Brunstad put out a letter. I guess it was in the back of the book. I don't know. She put out a letter talking about how the legendary run is ending for now. She said, "We could not be more grateful to the collaborators who made this book extraordinary and the fans who picked up our book month after month. From the very first day I sat down next to Kelly at an editorial retreat and said, 'So what about Black Widow?' to the day we got Elisabetta D'Amico on board to ink Elena's pencils, I've known we had a special book on our hands. We've been a close-knit group, and it's a bittersweet feeling to see our collective work realized here. Kelly Thompson, Elena Casagrande, Elisabetta D'Amico, Jordi Belair, me, and Kat Gregorowitz, then Anita. An all-female team with Rafael Delator and Pimentel, a top-notch letterer, and Corey Pettit, and one of the hands-down best cover artists in the business in Adam Hughes. Natasha Romanoff's had it good. Who knows what's next? Until then, true believer, stay sharp and wear black." Now,
Nice.
people are really upset. Yeah, Snake, they did cancel it. People are really upset. And my thing is this. I get it, right? You never want to see your fave canceled. It sucks. The vibe of this letter, though, makes me feel like it's not necessarily over, right? Like Marvel just canceled Shang-Chi. And then it's coming back in July with Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, #1. Daredevil's canceled, but it's relaunching with Daredevil #1 here in like a month or so. So I'm not sure that it's over.
Hopefully, right? And the way that she put it in the letter was, yeah, very much sounded like this is a now. We're coming back, right? More to come, and stay tuned. That's fun.
That was the vibe I got.
Same.
But if it's not, if it really is canceled, I've seen a lot of people saying things like, "Oh, how is it possible that Marvel couldn't find the way to keep a book that's so successful on the stands?" I mean, this book won Best New Series at the Eisners in 2021. Yeah. So obviously very good. But it's like we have to remember one thing. Marvel, DC, Image, Boom, all these publishing companies, at the end of the day, they're businesses. And as much as we hate it, if Black Widow wasn't selling, this is what happens.
Yeah.
The fact that I wasn't even aware that this was as good of a run as it is, which, it's no one's fault but mine at the end of the day. But, like, Marvel didn't tell me. The internet's not telling me. I don't know that. I see more complaints about like the first time I'm really hearing about this book is people complaining that it's canceled. That's a problem. As a community, we got to do better if we want to see books like this succeed. I buy this. I loved. There was a really great Black Widow run a few years ago. Unfortunately, I can't remember the creative team, but I loved it. I thought it was so good. I loved it. I'm hungry for Black Widow, just like Elektra. I love these characters. But when these runs are happening and they're great, I don't hear about them.
Do you think that this was because people weren't buying it? I didn't get that sort of vibe from the letter either. I think, to your earlier example, if they're relaunching Shang-Chi, if they're relaunching Daredevil, and this was a successful book, let's try to do, because for whatever reason, I've not known Marvel to consistently have these extended runs, right? So if this book is as fun as it is, as popular as it is, let's end it here, relaunch it as a #1 to get more people on board.
Put some push behind it.
Oh, right. Yeah, I was just saying, like, if that's not the case. I do think that. I do think that's the case.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, I think that, man, but like that's the thing, right? Is I feel like that makes sense to be able to put the push behind it in those scenarios. Mm-hmm. But if you're gonna do that with a run that's lauded right now, right? And has a lot of fun, right? With people who are reading it, engaging it, whatever it might be, even people shouting off in the Discord right here, right? Why not put that backing into the long form serialization of it?
Because no one wants to read an issue 16. They want to read an issue 1.
Right. Yeah. That's unfortunately sort of what it boils down to. But yeah, I hope that this isn't the end. I really want this to come back, because now I'm like, wait, I'm gonna go and get these trades. You know, like I wanna read this now. Unfortunately, now that it's over, so maybe, like I said, maybe it'll come back. Maybe that's the plan, and this actually could be a hype builder in a way, because now the trade sales might jump up. I'm for sure buying it, and if they relaunch with the same team for a number 1, I'm all the way in. So,
sure,
that's the hope. That's the hope.
This was recommended to me. I think Manny might have shouted this out early on. I picked up when the first trade came out. I'm like, is this any good? He's like, for sure, pick it up. I haven't gotten a chance to crack it open, but now's the time.
Wow, where is Manny? Speaking of Manny, yeah, normally Manny is here. Let's talk about something that's definitely not canceled: Avengers, and maybe should be. Avengers 1 million. Yeah, Avengers 1 million BC is a one shot that we're going to be getting. That is going to detail the quote true parentage of Thor. So Jason Aaron has been writing Avengers for a few years now. It's been a while. I want to say like maybe 3 years, somewhere in there, and maybe even 4. And so we're going to be learning the true parentage of Thor. This is an ongoing story that the Phoenix may or may not be Thor's true mother. That Odin and Phoenix had a relationship in 1 million BC.
I see it happening.
Yeah, and
well,
I think it was like a legit thing. I think, and that Gaia might not be Thor's real mother. So, the weird thing is that in 1 million BC, the Phoenix inhabits the body of one of the first mutants named Firebird.
Apocalypse,
I believe. Apocalypse. So
that would be incredible.
Fire hair. So my thought is the revelation that Thor's a mutant? Does this tie into Judgment Day event?
Interesting.
Well, I gotta say, this whole concept is pretty far-fetched.
Sure.
We all know the Earth is only 6,000 years old.
That's not where I thought you were going with it. It's so on brand, but I did not think that's where you're going with that.
I'm about done with all of this, to be honest. Like, obviously I love the Phoenix. Obviously, I love mutants, Jean Grey, all that. I've never been so burnt out on the Phoenix.
This feels like some MCU level rebranding to me. Like, this just to that point where it's like, this is so deep that it doesn't even make sense.
Like, it doesn't have to, right?
Yeah.
They have milked the Phoenix Force for literally everything it's worth. Like, it's not worth anything anymore. When Jean Grey had it, the concept was that Jean was able to hold it because of how powerful she really was. That was the gimmick. And then she was gone, and you didn't see it for a while. And then the first host that I know of post Jean is Rachel. But then you got into like the Phoenix 5 that they did.
Yeah. During AVX.
Right. Echo is hosting the Phoenix Force currently. So it's just like so many people have had, like, is it really that big of a deal? Does it matter?
Maybe it just shows Jean's not that strong, actually.
Nice.
But dude, think about this.
I mean,
think about this. When the
if Cyclops can hold it, like...
But hold on. But when the Phoenix 5 had it, the idea was that they had to spread the powers of the Phoenix across 5 different mutants because it was too much to hold. But now Echo has it. She's doing fine.
What does that say about the mutants?
No, not a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not loving it. Not loving it. I just can't, like, the even the idea that there were Avengers 1 million years ago or whatever. Like, come on, man. It trivializes all of the stuff that has happened to me.
Yep. It feels like one of those just coincidental things. Like, you know, we sort of we sort of joked about it during X Lives of Wolverine.
Yeah.
But that ended up being the case of where, you know, Logan just happened to be in the area protecting Professor Xavier's whole family to make sure Xavier could be born.
It's wild. I can't do it. Like, I'm not going to read this. You know, I'm sorry. I don't have any beef with the creative team. Everybody on it is very talented, but I can't keep going back in time. Like, let's move forward. I never thought I would get to that point, but it's like, yo, let's move forward. Focus on the team that's now. Focus on the characters that are now. I don't want to see, you know, the exploits of, you know, the original Hulk. Oh, okay, so Bruce Banner's a jobber. The original Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange is a jobber. Like, no, the reason that Bruce Banner and the Hulk are relevant is because that's the first time that happened.
I do think it's interesting. Let's say this does tie into the current Judgment Day stuff.
Yeah.
Where do you think he sides?
That is the interesting wrinkle. I think that puts him in the Spider-Man position if you compare it to Civil War, where he's torn. Thor, to me, Thor's an Avenger first and foremost. But where it gets compelling is that he might stand with the mutants against the Eternals, because now he's at risk. His real lineage is at risk. So it does create an interesting wrinkle, but like, I feel like you could do that with another character, or because like Wolverine's an Avenger, right? But he's also a mutant. So I feel like there's other characters that you could put in that middle spot where you don't have to retcon all of history to get there.
Make Wolverine's mom the Phoenix.
Shenron says, the Phoenix is slowly transforming into a symbiote for mutants. Yeah. Like, in terms of the watered down quality, like Venom was the first symbiote. Now there's 57 million. Is it still interesting? No, it's not. But speaking of things that are interesting, that are actually interesting, let's talk about a couple of new announcements from DC for Superman. So DC is putting out, the first one we're going to talk about is Superman Space Age. Creative team, I think, will interest you off rip. Forget about the premise.
I'll be the judge of that.
All right. Let me throw some names at you.
All right, let's go.
Mark Russell.
Ooh.
I don't actually know who that is.
Flintstones. Okay. Second Coming.
I don't think I read that one either.
Okay. Marco, you know. You know.
Absolutely. I fucking love him.
Okay,
Read
fine.
comics, Kale.
Huh?
How about this one,
Read
though?
my Bible.
How about Michael
I'm
Allred?
leaning into that today. Okay.
All right.
There it is.
How about this cover? Can you see that?
Yeah, cover's okay.
No? All right.
I tell you, I've seen better Allred work.
Okay, fair enough. Well, the one I have up now is giving me what's his name? Christopher Reeves vibes. So, but
yeah.
But
Now that's a good one.
yeah,
The one with the planets.
yeah. That's the one. The one I showed at first is not the. I don't know if that's the actual cover. This one is the. This is the cover. But
Yeah, this is a good one.
so So Mark Russell, he's working his way more into DC, which is pretty cool to see. This is his second work with Superman. There was the Future State stuff that he did, but now he's getting a foray into a mini, and he says, this is a dream project for me. Not only because I get to work with a genius like Mike Allred, but because I found Superman to be such a philosophically fascinating character, one which forces us to ask how different would the world be if we chose to be our best selves. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Well, some of us choose to be our best worst selves.
And so this is the... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to comment on that. I think for him to make that statement, for the trust that I have in him as a creator, that's exciting, right? For him to find something interesting, something that fascinates him, that means he has something to say.
So this looks like it takes place after or just around the time of the original Crisis event. And so it says,
interesting.
Meet Clark Kent, a young reporter who just learned that the world will soon come to an end. Crisis on Infinite Earths. And there is nothing he can do to save it. Sounds like a job for his alter ego, Superman. After years of standing idle, the young man from Krypton defies the wishes of his fathers to come out to the world as the first superhero of the space age. As each decade passes and each new danger emerges, he wonders if this is the one that will kill him and everyone he loves. Superman realizes that even good intentions are not without their backlash as the world around him transforms into a place as determined to destroy itself as he is to save it.
Interesting.
That time period is really interesting to me.
Yeah. Another interesting thing is that the first 3 issues will be available at the same time on July 26th.
Whoa. Very cool.
And then we'll get an issue every other month thereafter.
That's less cool.
Yeah. Do we know if this is a DC book, Black Label? Like, where does that sit in this?
Oh, I'm sorry. I misread that. The first one comes out July 26th, and then we'll get a new one every other month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. You said, is it Black Label? There's no acknowledgement of that within the article. However, it's 80 pages and prestige format, which generally means Black Label. So, not sure.
$10.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm into it.
Absolutely. This solid creative team.
Yeah, this sounds cool.
Well, Kale, that got your goat. What about this one? Because we've got another Superman book. We've got Dark Crisis, Worlds Without a Justice League, Superman one-shot. Say that 5 times fast.
I've already forgotten what you said.
All right. Dark Crisis, Worlds Without a Justice League, Superman one-shot. Dark Crisis, Worlds Without a Justice League, Superman one-shot. Can't do it anymore. That's all I got.
You only got twice.
That's all I got. It's way too long. So this one is by Tom King and Chris Burnham. Tom King, who's on a roll. Chris Burnham, who did some amazing art in Batman Incorporated, and I think a couple of times was featured during Grant Morrison's Batman run, and obviously including Incorporated. So you already know that the creative team's a banger. The concept is one that I'm not so sure about, but we'll talk about it. So Tom said, Superman is maybe my favorite character to write, and Chris is one of my favorite artists in comics who I've been dying to work with for years, so this project is an absolute joy. It's an important and emotional story about what Clark missed when he missed John's teenage years, the pain and the glory of seeing your boy grow up. That's interesting. So, Superman is going to die in Dark Crisis. We all know that. The Justice League is done. This seems to be like Superman's last thoughts kind of thing, or like his last dream, or like
interesting.
Seeing the what happened with John, or what could have been if he was able to watch John grow up. Because for those of you who are unfamiliar, John Kent, Superman's son, goes away into space, and he ages faster up there. Or time moves faster, rather. So when he comes back, he's already like late teens. So Clark missed all his growing up. This story, especially if you look at the covers that we have, it shows Superman and John together. So the idea is that this is like, what if Superman had a Robin? What if they got to be superheroes together? That kind of thing. And I think it's kind of brilliant. And it's kind of sad. Because, yeah, go ahead.
It wouldn't be a Tom King book if it wasn't sad.
Right, yeah. If it wasn't a little brilliant and a little sad, it wouldn't be a Tom King book.
On the money.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm into it. I like this a lot. I'm definitely buying this.
I think where it loses me is the imagery of Robin.
A little. I think I know what you mean.
Like I'm curious to know if that's like that's sort of how Clark sees John as like his Robin. And that's sort of the explanation for it. Or if it's just like, I don't know, a gimmick. Like, it doesn't really make sense to me because John already has a couple of really good suits that sort of explain who he is a lot better than this.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this is, and I have no knowledge, but that this is a visual thing they're doing for the covers. To get across the idea of, like, because Batman obviously has his wards, they're his Robins. This is Superman's son, but he's the junior hero. I think that's what they're trying to get across.
Shorthand for sidekick.
Yeah. Even just this cover, the one that I'm showing that's them standing in front of the bullets.
Yeah.
It kind of immediately makes me sad.
Because Robin gets shot in the head and dies.
It just has a vibe of like, damn,
nostalgia.
Nostalgia. Thank you, nostalgia, and then also like, gosh, Superman did not get this. Imagine the joy that he would have had, and Tom's a father, so Tom's probably thinking, geez, what if I missed my children growing up?
See, that's the appeal for me, is that he's going to be drawing from something personal,
right?
And I think that he's able to take that and put it into a story. I feel.
You mean him drawing from his CIA experience? Does he do anything for you?
He has no CIA experience. What are you talking
that's
about?
Right. Yeah, that's
right. I forget.
Yeah, that's a joke, by the way. All right, please.
Yeah, don't clip that.
Don't send that to Tom. We're still holding out hope to have him on the show. So please.
The second cover here though, that you had earlier.
Yeah,
Sean. Beautiful. Oh my God, who is this?
That is Steve Beach.
Amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, gorgeous. I thought it was an Alex Ross. Yeah, I thought it was. But it's not.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
You don't get that vibe?
No. I mean, the vibe, yeah, but I mean, I can tell it's not Ross.
So okay, Kale. Sorry.
That trained eye. Would you listen? You've been reading as long as I have.
Who's Mark Russell again?
I got an Alex Ross eye, not a Mark Russell eye.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Take care, Catherine. Thanks for the help earlier. Appreciate it, and the sub. Really, really appreciate that. So yeah, two Superman books that I will certainly be buying. This one is also coming out in July 12th for this one.
Nice.
Yeah. That's all exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. What I'm also looking forward to is talking about Ezra Miller.
Oh boy.
And the emergency meeting that was allegedly needed. I lost my Ezra Miller images, or they're not working. Oh well.
They took an emergency meeting.
Oh, you don't have any images of this dude looking like a crackhead?
So, as we discussed last week, Ezra Miller was arrested for what they're calling disorderly conduct and harassment. He threatened to burn someone's house down, or they. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. They threatened to burn someone's house down, a couple's house down. They attacked a couple of people at a bar. One for playing karaoke, the other for playing darts. Which I think some people. Tyler said he understood attacking someone for karaoke. I think it was Tyler that said that.
Yeah.
But so then the news came out that allegedly Warner needed an emergency meeting to discuss what to do about the Flash. Rolling Stone is the one that put that article out, saying that there was a public perception that the actor had, quote, frequent meltdowns, and that they were going to hit pause on any future projects involving Ezra Miller. IGN put out an update to that story saying that they have a source that says that that was not true and that no such emergency meeting happened. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I believe that there absolutely was an emergency meeting. You know why? Because The Flash is a part of what they want to be a billion-dollar franchise.
Yep.
This is awful for them. This is awful for them. The Flash is the next major movie that they have. I think
they're banking on it.
Yeah. They need this to work.
I think for sure the meeting happened. I think they need this to absolutely work because I don't know where the draw is otherwise. Batgirl, HBO Max, I don't know what they're doing otherwise.
Right.
I'm
sure that this isn't the first meeting they've had about Ezra Miller.
Yeah. And clearly the Flash was put in like the Spider-Man position of, the DC films where the Flash is kind of like this younger character amidst the gods who has these amazing powers, is still learning his place in the world, stuff like that. And that actor cannot be, running around in real life being a villain. That can't be the case.
An actual supervillain.
Right. Like, that's the reverse Flash activity. That can't be the case.
Whoa, what if this is a heel turn?
It is a heel turn. But to be honest, I think Ezra Miller's always been a heel.
Yeah.
Remember when Ezra slapped or assaulted some woman?
Yeah. Like Norway or something.
Yeah. Wild. Clearly, well, okay, I'm not going to comment on whether or not Ezra Miller has a mental illness, but I am going to say that this behavior strikes as something isn't right.
This dude's got some problems.
Right. And there were reports of Ezra having meltdowns on set, or being difficult on set. So that's not cool. That's sad. Get help, please. Putting that part aside, right? They got to get rid of that. They got to get rid of this dude.
Mm-hmm. Had no reason to act like a jackass.
Yeah, we all got mental issues, and we're all going through some struggles. It's tough. It's hard out here. Marco's having some problems.
What's going on?
I don't see Marco running around choking people for doing karaoke. If anything, Marco's doing the karaoke.
That's probably true. Yeah.
Yep.
And maybe that's the thing. Maybe Ezra should join in the karaoke.
Maybe.
Right? Why not? That's fun. Who doesn't like karaoke?
Ezra Miller. And Tyler Olsen.
That's right.
And Tyler Olsen. And Kayla Ward, to be honest.
And Sean Bartley, frankly.
What is this?
I'm not saying I'd go out of my way to slap somebody for it, but
where are my karaoke fans in the chat? Come out.
Catherine's already left.
They don't exist. No one likes karaoke.
Everybody loves it. It's the best thing. It's a community builder.
No. You know what that is?
Community karaoke night.
No. No. That's what they make you do at jobs. It's like team building, which is why you like it. You like all that crap.
No,
Marco.
what?
Marco, maybe. Maybe
right?
we can
Come on,
talk.
that's kind of fun, right? That's
If
fun.
I come into town, maybe.
Yes, Catfish, let's go. Somebody, come on, keep it rolling.
No.
Yeah.
Snake of Talons is not doing karaoke. Zimbo the monkey's not doing karaoke. Like, you're not gonna get support from the chat. It's not gonna happen. Sorry.
The medic will do karaoke.
Prove 'em wrong.
I've seen them do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah,
If the medic is who I think it is, anyway.
you know what's funny though is that I feel like there's a ready-made way to get around Ezra Miller, and that's Grant, the actor that plays the Flash on the CW.
Yeah, he's led that franchise since Snake of Talons is here for karaoke.
What?
Let's
Wow.
go. Come on, people. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow!
That is
Called
calling you out, Kale.
Wow!
Well,
And the medic saying, "Oh." The medic says, "Excuse you. I mean, you're right, but thanks for calling me out."
at least it's at least they're listening.
Snake says it will just be metal karaoke for me. Listen, dude, if you can hit those notes, if you can hit those screams, that's awesome. I do metal karaoke in my house when my microphone's off, when no one can hear me, but I'm not about to get in front of a mic with my loved ones and embarrass myself trying to sing Spirit Box. That's not going to happen.
That's
Maybe
the
I'll
fun,
do.
dude.
Maybe I'll do the Kamen Rider theme song.
I definitely throw
Shoka.
in some anime ones. Definitely got to go for Queen. It's good stuff.
Okay, let me ask you guys this. Is it possible? I don't know if it's legal, but is it possible for us to do karaoke live on Twitch?
I don't think so.
I want to say no.
Well, it's probably possible, but I don't think it's legal.
It's
Like you
definitely illegal.
said. Yeah. So I think the short answer is no because it's so illegal.
All
They would
right.
shut us down hard.
Yeah.
We're going to have to see. I'm going to look into it. But this Ezra Miller talk is going to lead us into our main topic, which... Go ahead.
Greg Gustin, quickly,
Yeah.
ran he was the lead of the CW a whole thing after Stephen Amell left, and he has carried that show for 9 seasons. I think it would be a perfect transition into a Flash that people already know.
Fan favorite.
And you don't have to bring anybody with him.
Yeah.
They can't bring that suit either, though.
Well, listen, you've got the movie budget, so
Sure.
you don't need it.
Give him an upgrade.
You'll have to give Greg Gustin a little bit of chin. But, I mean, that can be worked with.
Is that why Ezra was cast, their chin?
Well, no.
No.
But that's why they added the chin strap to Greg Gustin's suit, is because they tried it without it, and it did not work.
I feel like the Flash's suit is pretty cool. Like, just the Wally suit, Barry suit. Like, it's cool. Like, just do that. Just 1-to-1. It's simple
and
enough.
They've gotten a lot closer to that in this last series. Like, this last one, he's finally got the gold boots.
Okay.
So, I think it's there.
All right. I'm into that. So Warner Brothers and Discovery have officially merged. It's more like an acquisition, gotta say. It's more like Discovery ate them up. And we're going to talk about the implications of that for DC because they exist.
More like Discovery ate Warner Brothers up?
Yeah.
Well, that was not the
interesting.
angle I saw coming.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know anything about this then.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna get into that here in a moment. Twitch fam, hang out. We'll be back in 5 minutes or less. Thank you for waiting. See you in a minute. We are back. Thank you guys for waiting. If you're still here, thank you so much. Make sure that you guys are leaving us a like on this video. or whatever platform you're watching us on. Doesn't have to be YouTube. Wherever you are, there's a way to show support. Leave us a comment on Apple Podcasts. We rating and a review. We appreciate those. We haven't gotten one in a long time. So who wants to be the first person of 2022 to leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts? If you're a fan of this show, you gotta go and do that. You just have to. You
gotta. Otherwise, you're not a fan.
Those are Kale's words. Listen,
I'll double down. You hate us.
Wow. So the merger has closed. Discover and Warner Media are now one entity. $43 billion later. That is what Discovery paid. Discovery, AT&T. They are their own thing, and now they've brought Warner Media into that fold.
Now I thought AT&T already owned DC and Warner.
So it says, at the conclusion of business today, Discovery and AT&T have announced that the planned transaction combining Warner Media and Discovery into one entity has closed, officially named Warner Brothers Discovery Inc. The new company will combine everything under the Warner Media umbrella, including DC, HBO, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. That's where we stand right now. A lot of Warner Media workers were let go, unfortunately, as a result of this. That's what always happens. Warner Brothers CEO, Ann Sarnoff, the boss of HBO Max, Andy Forssell, they were let go of the company. Ann Sarnoff, obviously, you can only have one CEO. Well, they're only going to have one CEO, and it's not going to be Ann, unfortunately. It's going to be, I think it's going to be, I don't know. I can't find their name. Doesn't matter. We're not here for that. This is a big deal for a lot of reasons, most of which are outside of our purview, right? We're not going to be talking about media consolidation and how bad that is. Those days are gone.
Phil's not here anymore.
Yeah, we don't need to do that. We don't need to spend 40 minutes talking about that. Instead,
we get it.
Yeah, exactly. That's you come into the conversation knowing that, and you move forward.
Guys, I think that we also need to understand that when big companies like this start to buy out small companies or even other large companies, right? This is just I'm sorry.
Are you doing? Can you say?
I genuinely can't tell if you did that on purpose.
Can you say more words in a normal voice?
No. Oh no! Did it do it? Yeah. Hey, dude.
Hey, dude.
He was doing a Phil impression. I was like,
that's a weird Phil. Phil's voice,
but it worked at the same time. Like,
oh man. Okay, so earlier this week, Rich Johnston from Bleeding Cool put out an article saying everyone's gossiping about DC Comics without reason yet. And the general idea is that Discovery is combing through every single crack and crevice of Warner to look for places to cut. Look for redundancies, which always happens. There will always be redundancies whenever there's a merger. But not only looking for redundancies, looking for places where people are being overpaid, looking for places where, you can just cut budget. DC Comics, the entity DC Comics, is always under scrutiny because they cost money and the return is not necessarily tremendous. It's fine from what I've read. Like, DC's not losing money necessarily, but when they were in those the offices, the Burbank offices, they couldn't justify the cost of the offices juxtaposed with what DC was pulling in. It wasn't worth it. They're not there anymore.
Yeah, they just moved, right?
Yeah. So okay, fine. But I saw a rumor that Jim Lee was being looked at as being potentially on the chopping block.
Rob Liefeld says he's got to be fine.
Well, Rob Liefeld would know.
All right.
I worry about this. I worry about this a lot for a few reasons. When the pandemic started, there was a rumor that DC was either going to get it done or they were going to be gone.
Yep.
We did a show about that at the time. Either the new strategy was going to work, leaving Diamond and all that jazz was going to work, or it was going to be gone. Did it work? I guess. You know? Who knows? We don't really have that data the same way we used to. We don't know their sales the way we used to because Diamond is not covering it.
Yeah.
So we're not all the way sure about that. I think the comic book side of DC is a necessity. That's what we've always said. Like, Marvel and DC Comics are needed because without them, you don't have the idea farm to funnel the movies. But quite frankly, the DC films don't really use the comics that much. For the most part, like, they use the characters, of course, but for the most part, they don't, like, their stories are kind of their stories. So they might not need, they might say, hey, we don't need DC Comics.
Yeah, we have our own stuff going on, and why have the baggage?
Right.
Right.
And I think that the further away that DC has gotten from being owned and operated exclusively by like comics people and have had the more and more scrutiny that's been placed on them, the worse things have gotten. And I think that I don't want to say this because it sucks, but I think the chances are real good that there's no DC Comics, or at least that Discovery does not continue to produce DC Comics.
But it's built into the name brand, Discovery Comics. It's right there. Come on, you gotta take advantage of that IP.
That's funny.
I disagree. I think that regardless of, I'm sorry, I don't know if you finished your thought.
Go for it.
I don't think that they're going to stop the publication just because while they're not farming the IP necessarily for the movies, at the very least, they've been doing a lot from a business standpoint. We have new sub imprints that have been pretty successful. I would say Black Label. They've been able to get new and different creators in there. They are now flexing the app a lot more. There's, I think, momentum on the comic side that even if somebody comes in, and I agree that if somebody who isn't necessarily a comics person comes in and starts to organize things, I don't know that as long as they're not impeding on the quality of content, I think they might bring in some sort of new idea about how to potentially distribute. I could see this as a way forward, using what sort of clearing the stable of Warner Brothers and making this more focused on, okay, how do we actually improve the pipeline? Because they have now separated that pipeline. They are focusing a lot more on actually the development there. How do you continue to do so? And might this new person come in and be able to facilitate that? I'm looking at it from that sort of, from that end.
You are optimistic.
You gotta be, dude.
It's DC that's been making all the moves to put their books more so into
Book channel.
bookstores.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I can see somewhere in the middle of what you're saying is maybe we won't see DC Comics on the stands in 5 years because we'll see it all in the bookstores or whatever. They'll only be putting out trades. Maybe they'll actually kill the the paper issues because those will cost more money.
That's a good point. I have a hard time being optimistic because of the fact that we don't know, or I don't know, how DC Comics are selling. And I assume that they're selling well for comics. But if you are the person at Discovery who's responsible for looking at DC, seeing the costs of producing comics, right? You don't care or know what Black Label is. You don't care about,
Sure.
the successes that DC has had. You don't care about Naomi being like a successful Black comics character. You don't give a damn about any of that. You care about how much are these books selling. And if they're not bringing, it becomes a dollar and cents issue. And I worry a lot about that. And I hope that DC Comics are worth the paper they're printed on. I hope they're worth it to Discovery. But I think like a scenario that Kale posited just now feels more likely to me. That they just say, you know what? All this local comic book shop, all publishing weekly books, who needs that? Let's just be in Barnes and Noble and Amazon and call it a day. Yeah.
So 2 thoughts on that.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a proponent. I think I feel like I've been pretty vocal for anybody who's tuned in for the show for the past 5 years or longer. Right? That I think that shakeup from a format perspective is probably necessary for the longevity of the industry. I think that you have your albums in Europe, you have your Tankaban for manga. I think that this is probably just a natural step in the way that things need to be distributed. The serialized form, I think, is difficult to maintain 100%. And if that's the sacrifice for maintaining and keeping comics published, it's a sacrifice I'd be willing to make for the industry, let's say, right? If I was in that position. And the second thought there is, it's obviously going to suck for your stores, for your shops, right? And I don't think that it will necessarily, it'll impact them, but I don't think it'll necessarily spell the end, because if we are getting them through different book channels, if we are still getting them through comics, just a different format, I think that there's potential there. And when we went to Anyone Comics, we had a really good conversation with the owner, Dimitrios, and his whole thing was, a lot of my books aren't even coming from Marvel and DC. It's other stuff, right? It's these other publishers, and let's say it's the Image, right? A lot of Image readers are trade waiters, right? They have that sort of audience built in, and if with this transition to, let's say, just trades and just books, and we get those things into bookstores, people start to get more used to that as a concept, less so the floppy. I think that there's a potential for, again, optimistic, but I think there's a potential for, at the very least, a renaissance there.
I think that Anyone Comics is an anomaly. I don't think that most comic book shops would be okay if there were no DC books being sold. I think that comic book fans who buy floppies are very particular. There are comic book fans who buy floppies that only buy literally one company, And if you're a DC person, right, and you do not buy Marvel at all, and then there are no DC comics being published, at least at your bookstore, like they're not available for purchase there, why would you ever go to that bookstore again?
Yeah. The loyalty is to the book, and thereby that company, not the store.
Anyone Comics has cultivated an environment where people are loyal to Anyone Comics. Like, I don't know if you follow them on Twitter, but like they have that going on. I don't think that's normal.
Yeah, I would also point out that that's in one of the biggest cities in the world.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
You
Fair.
know, what's one of the shops that Pete always took us to when, you know, we came into town. Like, you know, what are they gonna do?
Yeah, I think that the comics industry needs DC Comics to be what it is, as long as the industry exists the way that it does. And I don't know if Discovery's going to be down for that. Obviously, any changes we won't see that in the immediate. It's going to take some time for this merger to be reflected within the comics, if it will be at all. But, you know, we're talking about real people's jobs. Like, even just forgetting the bigger picture of the industry, just zoning in on DC Comics in particular, you know, these are real people's jobs. We know that they've already fired so many people in 2020. So many.
Didn't we do a story about how they were really cutting pay? And really taking a look at creators and slashing creator rates and stuff like that?
Creator rates at DC are down. That's, from what I have read and what we've reported here, a major reason why Substack has been able to be so successful. When you look at so many of the creators who have jumped ship, a lot of them are from DC. Mm-hmm. You know? Tinian. You got to figure that Tinian and Tom King probably make like top tier DC money. Grant Morrison would probably make top tier DC money. Well, Grant and Tinian not publishing DC Comics anymore. Outside of Tinian's Sandman thing, which he's doing because it's a personal reasons. And Nice House he's got to do. So yeah, like that's bad. And DC's not the place anymore for big money contracts, from what we know. And also they fired so many editors who were senior editors, people who knew how to make comics, people who really got it, who've been doing it since the 90s and earlier than that. They cut them. Scott Snyder had his live stream for annual subscribers to his Substack, and he was talking about how there's a serious problem with editors, that there's a severe lack of editors at DC. And the industry as a whole, but he works for DC, so he's talking about DC. And he was saying that they've cut down so many editors that now you'll have one editor working on like all these different books, and it's causing problems.
Yeah.
DC cut a bunch of their editors. They slashed their editors. And you got to figure a lot of that was because these senior editors were making a lot of money for comics.
And interesting to that, right? I wonder, in light of the, let's say the Image union.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder now if that's grounds for that to start here. You know, that this feels like a prime environment at this point, right? If the axe starts coming down, you know, how do you secure jobs, and then also how do you secure your pay for people who you want to hire down the line? It becomes that sort of strategy.
And
staff union at DC, you're saying?
Yeah.
And that's a great point. Like at this point, why the hell would you start working in comics as especially as like an employee of a DC or a Marvel, even Image at this point? Why the hell would you even get started? You have no job security. You could get fired. Like, this whole Discovery merger could just lead to you not having a job. If you're Tom King, you'll work. You'll be fine. You know, like, he's fine. If you're whoever edits Tom's book at DC, maybe not.
Well, and that's early we've had early evidence of that, with his Batman fiasco way
And-
back in the proposal.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So it really sucks, and it's so sad because corporations, right, have nothing to do with creativity, and we all know this. They suck when it comes to that, right? And comic books have been taken over by corporations. It's not new, right? We know that. Like that's been a thing, especially at DC. But the longer this goes on, the more it feels like DC is going to go the way of the dodo. I think Marvel's secure. I don't think that Disney will get rid of Marvel Comics. I think that the branding is too powerful. I think that we see them taking ideas from the comics as early as a few years ago. Like they pull stuff all the time. All the multiverse stuff, the Council, the Illuminati that we're seeing in the Multiverse of Madness, all that stuff is very recent, relative to comics. DC doesn't do that. What's the most recent pull for the DC movies? Like
Flashpoint,
Justice
right?
League?
Flash. You mean like the Jeff Johns Justice League?
Yeah, as inspiration for the movie.
I guess loosely, because the story is very different. I think the energy is similar.
So 2011, roughly.
Let's say, yeah.
And he was like a creative executive.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that they're going to, even if they're not using that IP. I think it has too much value to just shelve. I don't think that I don't see a world where a Batman comic will not be published. It just carries too much weight, even if it's expensive, even if it is something that does not produce the returns that you want. You lose the value of that IP by not using it. And I think as a corporation, that's something that they have to absolutely be cognizant of and can't sacrifice.
Especially because in this day and age, with those characters, they'd be foolish not to keep trying.
Not even keep trying. I think.
I guess I'm thinking in terms of making material to become a film, something that they to keep trying to get that MCU
I see. Okay.
move, take the thing that works and then blow it up.
Sure. If they work to develop that pipeline, though, that's a big piece.
Yeah.
I think you're completely right in the sense that the film properties are too valuable to lose, right? There's no way you can have Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman available to you for films and say, yeah, we're just going to sell this. That's outrageous. It's not the same as Fox. The X-Men are not Batman. It doesn't matter how much we love them. Just the reality is that there's no way. You would have to keep trying to make Batman. I mean, they just put out a movie, The Batman, and it's one of the biggest successes that The Batman has had. So yeah, you absolutely keep doing that. Does that extend to comic books?
I think it does, by way of do not disparage the value built into the name brand.
But to Sean's point, like, at what point do the comics stop publishing and people are still making films anyway? Like a historical text or,
Sure.
To Kill a Mockingbird or whatever,
I mean, you absolutely don't need the comics to continue to publish to make the movies. Like, you don't.
Yeah. Like the books that Matt Reeves made were that he based the Batman off were Long Halloween, Year One, and Catwoman.
And Ego.
The latest of which was, what, at best 2000s.
And by the way, Year One and The Long Halloween, also the inspiration behind Nolan's movies. So we're seeing the same...
Every other Batman movie.
Right, yeah. Like, it's the same stuff over and over again. DC has not really... Like, because they don't have a true shared universe, whatever creator comes in is going to want to tell their own story, and they're always going to go back to the roots. Because Marvel's a shared universe, they're forced to move forward. They have to use stuff from, modern comics to influence the stories that feature these characters because they're running through shit, So it's different. And that's why I feel like they could say, yeah, screw the comics. And that scares me because we need DC Comics. I don't think there's a comics industry without DC. There will always be a comics industry. I don't think there's a comics industry that's successful in the way that it is without DC Comics. I think your LCSs are really hurt, and I think a lot of people just stop reading.
Kefis in the chat, mergers equal less competition and less creativity. Yeah, for sure. I think the competition part is definitely the one for concern because in the event that, let's say, DC gets knocked out, Marvel is the largest share, right? Marvel immediately becomes what? The 89% of the entire market share of all comics. And that's a scary thought for me. Where do you get your small publishers at that point if that's the end, if that's the only thing there, right? If you didn't at least have DC to sort of combat, that's crazy to think about.
It's also, again, I go back to jobs. It's less jobs in the industry. Less work. And then look, realistically, how many of us started reading comics because of a DC or Marvel book? It is what it is. Like,
yep.
We all love the indies, and that stuff is great, and we spin out into that. But a lot of us start reading comics through these big two publishers. If you went to see the Batman, and they had the trailers that showcased, hey, if you want to see this movie, check out these books, and all the stuff that they did, which was all really great. You go to your comic shop, you pick up a Batman book, maybe not now, but maybe in a year, maybe 2 years, whatever. Now you're reading, I don't know, Monstrous. Now you're reading, whatever else, other book. If you go see the Batman 3 and then you go to your comic shop and there's literally no DC Comics there at all, you walk out.
Yeah. But I don't think that that's a strategic move, right? I don't think that that's a move for, because even that, right? That's residual funds. Let's say that's you're dragging somebody there and at the very least making a purchase. And even if it's bottom line, I think that has some value for the company.
I hope you're right.
Doesn't have enough though.
Yeah, that's a question.
I would rather that you be right than me be right. 100%.
I want to be right so I can tell you that I'm right.
Time will tell. Time will tell. And I want to be optimistic like you are being. I don't trust corporations. They suck. And generally they get things wrong. And DC's been on the precipice for a while. So I hope that they can keep on keeping on. I think we need DC. The Medic says, one of my first comics was of Sonic the Hedgehog and the Freedom Pal Resistance Pals. That's cool. Yeah, and there's stuff like that too. And that's all great. I think a lot of IP brings people into comics. Because even, there's Street Fighter comics, Mega Man comics, WWE comics. Like, if you really love the New Day from WWE and you want more of them, go buy the $8.99 New Day comic, waste your money. There are a lot of people who will do that. because they never read a comic before. And it's like, oh, cool. Here's a new way to experience this thing that I'm already familiar with, you know? Or even like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles started as a comic, but people don't know that. They go to the store. Oh my God, I can't believe there's all these Ninja Turtle stories that I'd never seen before. I'm jumping in. That's why we need this stuff.
You can see Raphael turn into the Shredder.
Did that happen?
Hell yeah, it did.
Did it really?
Hell yeah, it did.
Was it cool?
And then in that same line, Donatello gets his limbs cut off and he puts his mind into a robot body. Hell yeah, bro.
Wait, so he becomes Krang.
No. It's different.
Oh.
I mean, I guess in theory, but different.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought one of my first comics was Bionicle Comics, but published by DC.
There you go.
Like,
Oh, word?
You know? Yeah.
My first comic was Batman FaZe Clan.
Yo, imagine what is it? Like 20 years from now, somebody's be like, "Yeah, my FaZe Clan. You know, they're doing some cool stuff with Fortnite." I was like, "Yeah, sure."
Yo, I just saw at work we have FaZe Clan pellet guns, I guess. They've got, balls in them. They're like Nerf guns, but they've got like, hard plastic balls. I saw that. I went, Batman would never work with these people. Are you kidding me?
Exactly. Let us know your thoughts about what the future holds for DC Comics in light of this merger. Do you think that we're overreacting? Do you think that DC's too small for Discovery to even like really care about in the grand scheme of things? I think anything's possible at this point. We really don't know. And as I said, time will tell. I think one thing's for sure, Marvel, DC, they need to exist in order for the industry to thrive. And it's for the best. So let us know your thoughts. Get us on youtube.com/thecomicspals. Subscribe for free, like the video, share it with your friends. All that's free to do. Helps us out a lot more than it costs you, because it costs you nothing. If you want to catch this show live and start your weekend off with the Comics Pals, then join us at twitch.tv/thecomicspals every single Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. We generally start around 10:15, so if you come on at 10 and we're not here, that doesn't mean we're not going live. It's 10:15. I just like to say 10 because it's a nice whole number. Wednesdays for Pals Pulls at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's a hard 6 p.m. We have started without people before. We started without Marco. We had to do it.
And we'll do it again.
We'll do it again.
They will. If I get another call. Yep.
My man showed up still at work.
Right. That's actually true. Write to us at thecomicspals@gmail.com if you want to share your thoughts with us in a nice lengthy letter. We'd love to get those. And again, you can share your thoughts with us anywhere, including our Discord server, where we got a question from Matt today. We're always having great conversations over there. If you want to be a part of our community, the absolute best way to join us is by coming and hanging out on our Discord. The link is in the description. It always is. Let's do the plugs. Kale. Book Club, Batman, Batman Black Mirror. Check it out. It's out now. It's great. Listen to it. Kale.
Thank you so much for tuning in and getting through this episode of the Comics Pals, especially the first 20 or so minutes if you're watching on Twitch. Listen, we got here in the end. You can find me and my work at klward.com. That's C-A-L-A. C-A-L. Oh boy, I did that whole thing backwards.
Whoa.
I don't. CALEWARD.com.
There you go.
And make my comics your first comic.
Hey.
Should the Storeworm be your first comic? Absolutely.
A lot of fun.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TotoInto. That's TOTOINTOW. If you're into it, listen. I'm super into putting together the figures of a little diorama of my ideal Pokemon team. I am at 5 of 6. I just ordered a trainer figure and a Surfetched from a company in Japan, and they come in this week. I'm very excited.
This is Kale with money.
Yeah. I can't have money. I'm going to get into so much trouble again.
That's awesome.
So if you have any cool links for scaled Pokemon figures, I'm looking for a big one. this time. I think I need like a Gyarados or a Swampert.
Oh, Swampert.
Ooh, Swampert's good.
Love Swampert. He's like on this website I got. He's like $115, and I went, come on, I can't do that. I almost did, but I didn't.
You can't do that because you got to save money because you're about to pay me $500 cash in 4 years or 5 years or whatever it is.
No, it's not gonna happen.
Okay, Marco.
You can follow me at Mr. Marco Anamoto on Instagram and Twitter. Come talk to me about, I don't know, anime stuff, whatever, comics, all that jazz. Ooh, Kale, can you give the lovely listeners one more look at that shirt?
Ooh, you fucking know I can't.
Let's go. Ooh, something I am reading right now. I'm doing a amazing. If you're not watching, you should see.
He's doing a little dance.
Doing a little dance. I am doing a reread of Wicked and Divine because I realized that I haven't actually finished the series. I just got I'm getting volume 7, and I'm gonna finish it.
Oh man, I'm only on 4, I think.
Okay, it's the Imperial phase, right?
I don't remember. It's been so long.
Yeah, but I'm trying to finish it up.
As for me, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram only at Sean Soapbox. So I'm obsessed with exactly 3 things right now. Sonic 2 and how good it was.
Hell
if you
yeah.
go see it, stay until the end. There is a post-credit scene.
I can't believe we're already there.
Me neither, dude.
That's wild.
Unreal. Unreal.
Oh, it's too new. I can't ask you guys.
I'll tell you off the air.
I looked at Jess and I went, how is this possible?
I'm obsessed with a video game that I found called 20XX. It is a Mega Man inspired roguelike, I think they refer to them as. It is addicting, super, super, super fun. So glad I found it. I really love Mega Man. Mega Man is my favorite character, but they have put him on ice. So finding a game that gives me that Mega Man experience in a modern setting with modern art and graphics and gameplay, couldn't ask for more. And Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I am so excited for this movie. We're a month out. Can't wait. I've been thinking about it so much. So we'll be talking about that in the weeks to come. Thank you guys so much. Wait, Harris, is that real? 30XX is a thing? I didn't know that. I'm going to go find that right now. Thank you guys so much for listening. Until next week, we're the Comics Pals signing off. Take care, guys.
See you next week.